Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Jennifer Long from Be So Inspired, and this is week 3 of the Forest Friends panel sew along. So, just a little clarification: Wednesdays at Be So Inspired is the panel sew along for the Forest Friends collection, and Fridays at Be So Inspired is the Fox Cub quilt pattern. I should always have it in my hand. I should just carry it in my pocket. Is the Fox Cup happening on Fridays? So we wanted to get them both in November in case you have your fabric and you want to get started for holiday sewing. And the videos are always available. You can always sign up for the sew-alongs as well. So you'll get the emails and all the goodness that's happening. Just there's so much information on the website under fabric collections that support the fabrics. So do take some time and make sure you really peruse, look at what's all happening and supporting, because this is so fun. So anyways, week three, I know lots of people have been requesting. Week 3 is kind of shifted around from how we originally planned. We were just going to do the 4 weeks to sew the dolls together. And people were asking, please, please, please help us and just show us the tent. So week 3, that's today, we are going to sew together, show you some tips and tricks. Again, trying to be respectful of time, so keeping the videos as tight as I possibly can. But there's lots of tips and tricks to give today, so I'll do my best. And we will sew the tent panel together. So the tent panel, the things you're going to need is the instruction sheet, because I don't give all the details. I'm just giving the tips and tricks and the videos. You still need, these videos are not a replacement for the PDF instructions or for the sew along information that happens by email. All those avenues give different information. So it's really important that you do still download the PDF instructions, sign up for the sew along so that you will get all the things that you need. But the videos are meant to just demonstrate the trickiest parts, or the tips that maybe, you can't put all the words in the instructions. So thank you for joining me here today. So grab your PDF instructions, free download on the website under Fabric Collections, besoinspired.com. Grab your panels. So there's lots of shops that are now carrying it. I know people have been asking lots of different shops. There's shops in the US, in Canada, in Australia, for sure. I think there's a couple in UK I heard about now. So do a Google search for Forest Friends, Backcountry Adventure, Jennifer Long, Be So Inspired, for Riley Blake. If your local quilt shop carries Riley Blake, but they're not carrying Forest Friends, it would mean so much to me if you asked them to carry it. They can still order the panels and they can still order the fabric in. So ask your local quilt shops. It really does help. And there is another collection coming in May 23. So maybe they'll order that as well. There's 2 colorways for the tent panels. There is this Arctic colorway that has the little Arctic foxes peeking in there. And then there is the Woodland colorway that has the woodland foxes peeking through. So you can make one or both or many. And they're just like a great 3D soft present. No poles in there. I'm going to tell you what you need for them right away here. So just a couple of the tips and tricks. Again, get your PDF download to get all the details of all of the exact measurements and all the things that you'll need, but you'll need a little bit more yardage because you'll need to back your tent. So you'll need another yard. I'm just using confetti cotton, so just a matching solid for the inside. It'll be the inside of your tent, just so it's fully lined. I love, this is Craft Extra Firm Heat and Bond and Fusible. I love Fusible. And especially if you are a bag builder, I am not. So if you are a bag builder, maybe you can add in comments some products that you love as well. But these work great for the tent, and I am just going to tell you about some of the ones that I'm using. But there's lots of great products out there. Heat and Bond is one of my favorite products because you don't have to quilt it. It has lots of strength to it. You press it, it makes the fabric, it holds this stability in the fabric. And this Extra Firm, I use it for so many things. I use it for my felt dolls, but I'm using it for this tent. So you're going to need at least enough to cover this whole tent. So probably a yard would be great. And then I'm also using 2 more products. So if you are building a bag, for example, we'll just keep referring to bags. And I said, disclosure, I am not a bag maker. If you are building a bag, you do need, if you want a really stable bag, you add lots of different layers. You don't have to have just one, find like one thick layer to sew through. You can add a few different layers. So this is my 1 layer. I'm also using a fusible fleece. So it has fuse on one side, but if you're using this, it has fuse on both sides. So you can just use this one as a sew-in fleece. So any kind of like quilt batting, but I love this sew-in fleece. So it just doesn't stretch. It's just like a really thin but dense thickness into it. So I'm using those 2 products. And then this I've had a bolt for a long time, and I wish I had the name, but I just went to my local quilt shop and bought a bolt of the thickest bag stabilizer, like Pellon, that they would have here. So this is what it looks like. Anything that you have or that you can get your hands on that has some like strength and stability to it, that's going to hold your tent. You need at least the size of your tent, but like I said, if you want a really strong tent, if you're gonna, you can put multiple layers in it. So you might want to put 2 layers in it, and that is totally up to you. But the instructions are given for 1 layer of this, and that's what I'll demonstrate today. But just, yeah, if you want to add more, go for it. I'd love to see it. And then a couple other things that we'll need. You'll need your panels, you'll need thread, and we'll need a quilting ruler and some fun. So I'm going to drop the camera down in a second and we'll get started. I'll give you a little demonstration of the tips and tricks. And I am so thankful for you being here. I am really thankful for all of the tags on social media. It really helps. I don't know how else to say it, but it's really so kind and so nice when you are just sewing along and you put a little quick snap, a picture, and you just say, sewing along with Jennifer at Be So Inspired, Fox Forest Friends. It really touches me. I might not be able to answer right away, but I always try to. I can see it when you use the tag at Be So Inspired, and it just really helps lift up the fabric collection. And so, you know, we can bring more of these, which we are. So it's going to be lots of fun. And I want to support quilt shops too. So quilt shops, in any of my posts, you're all welcome. I want to lift up the local quilt shops. If people are asking where to get panels, feel free to type in on the YouTube channel or on any of the Instagram or even on the blog. So you can comment on the blog too if you log in and just say, you know, my quilt shop, here's the website, and we have the panels. So feel free. I'm more than happy. That's awesome. And if you want to join in any of the other things that are happening with Forest Friends, do check out fabric collections on the website, because there was a lot of time spent on that website and there's a lot of information in there, a lot of great things that supports this fabric. And I want to share it with you, and I don't have the time in this video to tell you all the things and show you all the things, because it's a big collection. It's a big fabric collection. So there's something for everybody in it. It's not just for kids. There is like great patterns like this backcountry forest pattern here too. So just lots of great, wonderful ideas. There's bench pillows. There's even machine embroidery stuff for bench pillows. So, all right. Why are we here today? Let's get started. I could talk about this collection forever. So let's get started, and I'll drop the video down. Okay, so just like the doll panels, you're going to want to press your panel first again too, and you're going to cut out all of the pieces. So if on your download that you downloaded from the website, it just says carefully cut out all the pieces. If you want it to be a larger than this seam allowance, then that you will cut larger than this seam allowance, but there is a 1/4 inch seam allowance around all the pieces. All right, so what I think people were asking the most is the doll tent, and I am so happy to do this with you. It's so fun. So you're gonna cut out your pieces, and this doll tent, oops, let me just open it up here. Okay, it has lines on it on the outside. You can see them, they're very, very faint, and this line is actually where you're going to stitch. So this is actually like the door. It's kind of maybe hard to see, but once we start assembling it, you'll see how my mind works. No, I'm just joking. And this is like the back part of the tent, and then this is the bottom part of the tent. So I have the other colorway prepared here for us. All right, so here I have some fused. There's instructions in here too about the details about, using medium weight fusible web. I also just added, I had some fusible web in there, and then I also have this fusible fleece, and just to give it a little bit more like stability and body. So if you can see here, I've left this opening just like it says to leave an opening here. This is going to be for turning, and I sewn on my 1/4 inch seam all the way around. This is a solid piece of fabric. So after you've cut your tent out, you're going to need to match it. And it does say here how to match it. You match it out and cut the second piece out to match. So this is an identical piece. I'm just using a solid confetti cotton, and I sew it together, pin and sew. And then I've clipped the corners here. So same like you would do for a doll. You don't need to cut all along these straight edges, because these straight edges are straight, but on any corners, I've clipped the corners off, or you can clip inside a corner that can't be clipped off, just like this one here. I've clipped inside this corner here. Definitely clip out, take some bulk, especially if you've done the fleece in there. So, if you're used to making bags, which I am not a bag maker, but I am a doll maker and a quilter, you want to use just like the more body you can give. Sometimes good tips and tricks are using layers and layers. So we're going to do that. Then we are going to turn this inside out. So once you've got that all prepared, you can use your arm to pull this big tent inside out. Oh, it's so cute, coming. Okay. And the reason why I liked the fuse web on it is because now it's given this like flat body. You don't need to quilt it. Well, you don't need to quilt it now, because I'm going to use my points turner in here while we're talking. You won't need to quilt it because it's been fused in there. And actually mine is this sample is going to be fused twice. So I used a heavyweight, where is it here? Or lightweight. Okay, this heat and bond. So I just used this bolt of heat and bond first, just like this, right to the fabric, and then I use the fusible fleece as well. They're both from Thermoweb. I just love all those Thermoweb products for, I always say, what I always say about it's what's inside that counts. Even though you can't see it, what you put inside your projects really makes a difference. So I push out the corners, but I am pushing out, if you can see it. Oh, sorry, my head was in the way. I'm really trying to look. I need my glasses. I'm going to push all the way through all the edges too. All the way on the inside here. Keep going with my point turner. So you're going to go around and make sure everything is turned out. Good. So it looks like this. You can take it to your ironing station and press. So if you haven't, oh, sorry, don't press it yet. No. Sorry, stop. Don't press it yet. Unless you have, you can press it. Sorry. You can press it if your fuse is fused to this. But if you have any fuse that's pointing out, if this is two-sided fuse, if you haven't put that fleece in there, then don't press it yet, because you don't want to glue these together yet. So depending on how you've done the inside, how many layers, and what you have on the inside, does that make sense? If this inside is fleece and it won't get stuck to the backside yet, go ahead and press. If it is going to get stuck to the backside, which is just fine, then you can just finger press for now and make sure it's all out. And then we will, do a final press before we assemble the tent. Yay! Oh my goodness, so much cuteness. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. We need to cut out these pieces, A, C, and B. So it gives you measurements in number 7 on how those pieces are cut. So I've done this. This is like the heaviest bag stabilizer I could find locally. It's pretty stiff. And I've cut out 2 A's, and I've labeled them so I don't get confused. So 2 A's. one B rectangle, and my A. I'm going to show you how to cut out the C, the triangle. Okay, so I drew it here to show you, but we are going to take my ruler and we'll redo it together. So it says 17 inches wide at the base. So these calculations are based on sewing right on your seam allowance. If you've gone in a little bit or you haven't been totally even or the fabric is stretched a bit, you might have to trim these up slightly, but we will do that as we go here. So I've marked 17 inches, and then the center of 17 is 18 is 9, so 8.5. So I'll mark a little bit of right in the center here, 8.5. Oh yes, and then we are going to make this 11 inches wide, 11 inches tall at the 8.5 wide of 17. So 11 inches tall right there, and I made this dot. So I made a dot here and a dot in the corner and a dot in this corner. And then you just draw those, connect those dots, connect the dots. This is going to be inside, so you can write on it because you won't see it through your, through all those layers on your fabric panel. Okay, so you can use scissors here, or you're welcome to take your rotary cutter. I'm going to take my rotary cutter and cut there. And again, right to the corner. Don't cut your tent. Did that make you nervous? It made me a little bit nervous, I will admit. Okay, sorry, did I bang the microphone as well? So then you have your triangle. Okay. So let's go ahead and do our A pieces first. So my opening is here on the bottom, and the A piece is here and here. The first thing it tells you to do is to do a stitch line for the door. This is the one that doesn't give you a seam, so you can see where the very faint line is on this edge where the panel will be. But the door is going to be from corner to corner here. This is actually the door. So I would just take this like this. You might want to do it on the inside. I'm not going to use my pen. If you have an invisible marker that's going to erase after a while, you can put it in there, or you can just do a tiny pencil and you'll just draw a line along that seam, and then you're going to just go ahead and sew a seam right along there. That's going to keep from your door from moving. Because I don't have my sewing machine here, and for ease, I am just going to show you how to do this without that. I'll have to take it out and start it again. So I'm going to take my A piece here and I'm going to just see if it fits. It looks like it's going to fit perfectly. Good. Good job, Jennifer. They don't always. I made a couple of tents now, and sometimes it doesn't, so you might have to just adjust. And if you did, I would just, trim off a little bit, and that's okay too. Just no problem, because no one's going to know at the end. Do not worry. I'm folding it in half, but I don't want to make a crease just to get it through. I'm going to open up this, and you're going to butt it up right against that seam that you sewed. My imaginary seam right now. Okay. Okay, so we're going to just keep working it in here. So it looks like this. Okay, so if I had a seam here, you can see that this will be like the door. You can fold it over and you're going to push it right up against it. Push this piece right inside there. Get it nice and flat. Make sure it's moving to all the corners. Nice to have a nice flat table here for this. Make sure it's in really well. And then you're going to sew, you can see where you can sew right along this line. And if you end up catching it a little bit, it's okay. So don't worry about that, though. You do want to have it pushed as far over as you can. If you end up catching it here, it's okay. This is just going to be help because it's going to be the bend of the tent. So this is going to be the door. Looks like this, the door. And this is going to be one of the walls. Repeat this on the other side with the other A piece. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that. Now you're at that triangle piece. Well, here's the triangle piece we cut. You have a seam going here. You have a seam going here and a seam going here. And you're going to slide that piece in there. Looks like my measurements are right. Yay! So that's good. If you need to do any little trimming, you're welcome to do any trimming that you need. And then you're going to draw where this ends. You're going to need to do the same thing. Once it's pushed all the way up and in place, do the same thing, and you're going to draw from corner to corner and then make another seam here. So this has a seam, this has a seam, and this you sew that piece in there. And you sew the last B piece comes at the bottom of the tent. So you've got all your pieces inside, and you can hand stitch this closed. Hand stitch, you can machine stitch it too if you prefer, but you can have a nice, once it's all in there, you can hand stitch this area closed. I'm just wondering how I'm going to show this to you. Then once you have it, all the pieces in here, this bottom piece is going to be hand stitched like this. This is going to fold in like this. Look, you can see the tent is coming. And these pieces will stand up because they're harder. You're going to hand stitch here. What I like to do is actually build it in reverse so I can do my seams on the inside. So I'm going to stitch the top of my tent together here, whip stitch it together, whip stitch the sides at the bottom, and the doors are just going to be left open like this, hanging down. And then when you flip it, and you have your seam on the inside, and you have your nice tent. So I should say after you've hand sewn it, after all your pieces are in there, if you have fuse web in here that needed to be fused, that you could press it before you did that. Good. So then you would just continue to follow that. The tent is built. So I think that was one of the biggest things people were asking. So I can't wait to see your tents. It's going to be so exciting. I'm going to move this away and give you a little bit of tips and tricks on the sleeping bag as well. The sleeping bag looks difficult, but it's actually really easy and fun. So this is the panel that you get right here. And what I did was I used the fuse fleece again, but I put the fuse fleece with the fuse outside, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I did this piece like this, and then the second piece I'm quilting it. So I took this piece, this is on the panel, and I just did straight line quilting. I don't know if you can see that there or not. I did straight line quilting on this piece to just like I would do it for quilting, but instead of fusing this first, I put the fuse on the outside, and I'll show you why. Then I put another whole piece of fabric out. This has been sitting, I prepared this earlier this week. And I'm just going to cut out to make sure I have two pieces. Just so I have the other side. Okay. Before I assemble, here is the tip and trick. So you are going to fold this piece in half. Same with this piece, you are going to fold it in half. Sew along the top. Once it's sewn along the top, then you'll fold it this way, put this right in the center, and fold it like that. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a second. So you need to do that to the back piece and the front piece. This is what the back piece will look like. I made two back pieces here just so you can see it. This is that hood part. So we sewed it together, those two pieces, and then we did a flat seam right here, and this is what the hood will look like. So we have one, and we have two, and then we're going to flip the inside lining right side out. So they're going to be right side out, so they're facing each other. This is already sewn together. Let's say this is sewn that way as well. And all you need to do is leave an opening. I might leave an opening right here. And I'll sew all the way around. That'll be sewn together all the way around to here. And turn your sleeping bag out. Because this is fused, I don't need to quilt this side. And once it's turned out right side out, I will press it. Press the whole thing. You can carefully press this top as well. And you'll have a sleeping bag that's fully lined. You're having to use your imagination with me here. That's fully lined like this. Oh my goodness. And we are going to stitch along the bottom if you want, and stitch along the inside here halfway. And just like I did with the tent, is I would do a whip stitch on the inside of it. So all of those informations and all of those steps are given again in the free PDF instructions that you can grab from the website. And then the fire and the little extra foxes and all the fun things there. I fused this, cut it out nicely. I fuse it with the heat and bond, again, a nice heavyweight heat and bond to a wool or a wool felt that doesn't fray. And then I do these just like I did the fox ears in video 2. And I'm going to stuff them and hand sew the fire right in the center. So you'll have this wonderful 3D fox tent. It's just going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see yours. Thank you so much for being here. It means a tremendous amount to me that you are here. I'm so excited that so many people are really excited about these panels. They've been a brainchild for a long time, and there's just so many things that I can't wait to share with you coming up as well. So the support of these panels is just so exciting. Thank you for being here. If you love these panels and you love our sew-alongs and all of the things that we are doing at Be So Inspired, please like and share. It really does help. It helps us to keep going. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, because when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, it does help us too, and then gets seen by more. So the more that we can get seen by, the more things we can bring to you. So I really, truly, heartfully appreciate it from my small business. So thank you so much for that. Also, if you love the crafting side of things, and this is the tent is kind of leading into the crafting side of like fabric and crafts, I think you will love our Makers Club. And our Makers Club is open all year. It's a monthly membership, but it's a cheap monthly membership. It's $9.98 a month, or even cheaper if you buy it annually. And you get 4 to 5 patterns every month. SVG cut files, machine embroidery, sewing PDF patterns, full like PDF quilt patterns for blocks of the month, and just so much goodness in there. Something for everybody. Even if you just wanted one craft pattern a month, it is worth it. So I'm so happy to be able to offer that membership. It's called the Makers Club. You just click on the Makers Club tab and you can join. There's absolutely no obligation. There's no cancellation fee. So you just pay what you've paid. And if you want to cancel the next month, you can cancel. There's, I believe so strongly in this club. I think it's so over delivering and so much value that I know once you come, you will feel so supported and so much value for yourself. But there is no obligation, so I don't feel like there's any kind of hoops that you need to jump through or anything. I want to be honest and loving and giving, and I just really love creating, and I want to share that with you. So thank you for giving a platform for us to be able to share that way together. It's so fun. So thank you so much for being here today. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you here next week for the final week of the panel sew along. If you are loving these and you don't want it to end, there's superhero doll sew-alongs that you can watch back in the videos. You can explore. There's also the Fox Cup quilt. But I'll see you back here for the final week on Wednesday of the Forest Friends panel sew-alongs. Okay, see you then. Bye for now, everyone.